Okay, let's go to the second group of questions. In Denmark, which do you think is the biggest problem now?
Well, I think you could say what is the biggest problem in Denmark locally, and what is the biggest problem for Denmark. I think I take the last one first. Global heating, that could be a very big problem for Denmark. As you have seen, it's a very flat country. The highest point of Denmark is 170 meters above sea level, and Copenhagen here is only a few meters over sea level. Some parts are even below. So if global heating becomes a big thing, and the ice at the poles or at Greenland and Antarctica melts, then it could very quickly become a very big problem for Denmark, because the country would simply disappear. So I think that would be the single biggest problem globally for Denmark. Here in Denmark, if we see locally, I think the biggest problem right now is growing xenophobia, because it's a growing tendency. People are becoming more and more intolerant, and I don't think the extremists, the real extremists, the Nazis, they are not the biggest problem, because, well, everybody see, hey, they are Nazis, they salute Hitler and stuff, and nobody wants to be like that. But then there are those who are like sort of nice and polite xenophobics. The guys who say, we are not racist, but, and then something, and they are somehow pushing the limits. They and well, if you see what could be said 10 years ago and what can be said now, you can definitely see that the limits have been pushed. Back then, people would say something and everybody would say, hey, that's an outrage, we cannot have things like that. And then time will pass, and then they will say it again, and that's now they accept it. And nowadays, well, what was said only by extremists 10 years ago, they are said more by the middle right now, and that means, of course, that the extremists, they have to be more extreme, and they will push the limits even further.
Which could be the solution of this problem?
Well, there is definitely information, dialogue. Of course, people are actually meeting each other as humans, and not only reading about each other in the papers. I think the media have a great responsibility here, because if they talk a lot about a possible terrorist attack of Copenhagen and have a lot of pictures of people with dark skin, then if you repeat it over and over again, then people will automatically react. Whenever they see someone who maybe doesn't speak entirely perfect Danish and is a bit darker than most common Danes, they would think, oh, that guy may be a terrorist. We better have some laws that can protect us against these kind of guys, because they are out there to get us. And by painting that picture over and over again, people will get more scared. And when people get scared, then they can do horrible things to each other. The common Germans who let Holocaust happen, well, I don't think they were evil people like that, but they were scared. They became scared of the Jews and what the Jews could do, and then, hey, someone had a solution. It's not a very nice solution, but we don't know much about it, but at least they do something, and then people that think like that happen if they are scared. Basically, I'm very much a believer in the good of people. I don't think anyone wants to hurt each other and be really mean, but people can be scared, and if they are scared more than they think and more than they actually meet people, that's dangerous. So.
And you personally, do you think you can do something against xenophobia?
I hope so. First of all, I hope that, well, I know a lot of different people with different backgrounds, and I personally know some people who haven't been in Denmark always and who have darker skin and maybe not speak Danish perfectly. So if anybody say, hey, all immigrants, they are terrorists, I can factually say, no, they aren't. I know a lot of nice people who are not terrorists, so I can do that. And yeah, and I try to challenge people's views and well, say my opinion when I can get to it, when I talk to people, and try to have people not being scared, and also look into myself, because now I make it sound like, oh, I'm such a good guy, and I'm human too. If I many times see some story in the media, it affects me too, and I think it's important to take a deep breath and say, easy now. Let's see if there are other angles in this case. I try to. I feel some kind. It's my responsibility to find out several versions of a story and see, not to just to eat the first simple version.